All right. Now, how do I get ready?
Yes, and we have a lot of questions in this section, actually.
Okay,
so
perfect.
What I think before we get into the questions, let's hit some key things.
Okay. All right, what you got?
So getting in shape.
My number one.
Number one. Practice the CPAT and pass the CPAT for sure, right? And strength and technique, right? For women, you know, we have strength in different areas than men. And not to say that women are weaker, because they're not actually. But we carry biologically muscles in different areas. So women have a lot more power in their legs, you know. How often do you tease a guy, hey, you gonna work in a leg day, bro? You know, because he's like so buff up here, but he has skinny chicken legs. And there's nothing he can do about it.
Comes from their lower body. It's just like, but that's what makes it so great, because we have those.
That's the team strength though, right? So strength and technique, and really getting the ergonomics down of the fire service. And if you have the ability to actually practice those specific skills of the CPAT, then you're going to build the muscles in the right places to make you successful with fire service. Shoulders, back, you know, core, 100%. You're anaerobic and aerobic, right? So can you go a long distance, but can you go a short distance fast and hard and be able to recover and still have the oxygen needed to do the strength piece of it, right? So those are my key ones, just to how do I get ready in the short term, just so you could even just start testing. Right. What do you have? So my number one is, is physical fitness. The number one reason that we let people go in academy is they are not physically prepared. So I'll be honest, like I was an athlete my entire life. I was a competitive boxer for a really long time. I always felt like I was in good shape, but when you start prepping for a fire academy, our gear weighs about 70 pounds. So I was unprepared to asked to be told to do all these tasks while wearing 70 pounds. Yeah, not just your boxing shorts and a tank top. No, exactly. So suddenly I'm like, oh, I'm getting winded faster. I am, I'm realizing that my agility, like wearing gloves and being able to do things. So start practicing the way you're going to play. It's one of those things where it's like, go get a weight vest. Weight vest is 100% the jam. Yeah, you have to work 100% the jam. And you know what I actually did is I actually got like a strength coach. So it was like one of those online things where it's like, hey, like I knew the guy, but I'm like, hey, can you give me a workout plan where one, I know I'm going to need to work on my upper body strength because all my strength is in my hips. So he gave me a workout plan where I just went heavy and hard on my shoulders and my arms. Yeah. And that really helped me for like throwing ladders and doing all the tasks that I knew a firefighter was going to be asked to do. You train the way you're going to play. So know the tasks that you're going to be asked to do and prepare that way physically, because academy is 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. You're going to be wearing your bunker gear and you're going to be asked to be performing in that gear.
I actually heard from my instructor on Mesa College. She received an email about the Cal-JAC opportunity, and she overheard me having a conversation with another fellow student about wanting to pursue EMT, all these other little prerequisites to become a firefighter. And then I submitted all the forms and I attended all the classes, and here I am now, about 2 months later, still making it happen.
The free cost was something that really enticed me to join, and I know that not a lot of people have the financial stability to go through college and enroll and take all these courses, me included, right? So the Cal-JAC and the benefits that it came with definitely helped me in that situation.
I've always wanted to be a first responder since I was a little kid, and kind of put my dreams on the back burner. So once I saw a posting for Cal-JAC, I went ahead and applied and figured now's the time. Hoping to get my EMT certification, pass the CPAT, and get on the FCTC list.
Stand up. Tonight is kind of rudimentary, just trying to get through some of the basic stuff, get you guys comfortable with this, get familiar with the campus where we're at. You want to set a good standard for yourself from day one moving forward. That's going to carry throughout your career.
Ben Vernon, I'm a captain paramedic with the city of San Diego. I've been on the job 18 years. I was an EMT instructor for over a decade. I left that to be a paramedic instructor. I got a call about a month ago from Chief Logan, who asked me to personally help teach this class, and you don't say no to Chief Logan.
This class is high profile. This is the first class of this type in San Diego County. You guys are the first group. Well, for the next 5.5 months, you guys are our family. Help us be the first program where everyone that's here tonight finishes at the end. It won't only be a testament to your instructors that have full-time jobs that are taking time out of their life to invest in you, but Cal-JAC, who took a chance on us, be dedicated to the process, understand what you've gotten yourself into. Everybody wants to be a firefighter? Yes, everybody. Yes, right?
What spoke to me about this is we're given the opportunity where like every second matters, and the community is looking to us and trusting us to like deliver.
Nobody really in my family even graduated high school. They've all just worked 9-to-5 jobs. And for me, it's either go big or go home.
I actually graduated from the San Francisco Black Firefighter Youth Academy in 2018, and since then I knew it was my purpose to be of service to my community.
I'm just extremely thankful for this opportunity, and I'm really looking forward to the physical aspects of this program because it's going to prepare us for the CPAP.
I saw this on ABC 10 News that the fire department was recruiting, and I thought, okay, this is like the bat signal and I can't wait to answer it.
Basically, I just always wanted to do fire, but it wasn't in the cards economically. So when an opportunity like this came up, it was perfect. I'm grateful to be in front of great instructors, great classmates, and excited to call you guys family for the next 6 months.
Firefighter Marquez, we want to share a day in a life here at Vallejo Fire Station 21.
I'm going all in, put it all on the line, cause I know that I'ma win.
That's just another day in the Vallejo Fire Department. We're busy, no matter if it's day or night. And if you're that kind of person that wants to be busy and actually do the job, just email us, schedule a station visit or ride out, and come out. We'd love to have you.
Today, we're gonna do a practice test to get you all ready because in order for you to graduate, you have to do your CPAT and your written. Copy that? Yeah. All right, we're gonna get a little warm up first, and then we're gonna introduce our proctors and get started. Touch your toes. If you can't touch your toes, be guarded in your core. Today is just a baseline. Have fun, get your hand on some equipment, feel how heavy that vest is. We are gonna record your time. If you can't pass, that is completely okay. Got every single specialist at your fingertips, and we're gonna cater to you and what you need to get you to pass your CPAT.
Part of the requirements is you have to have a decent amount of grip and be able to carry heavy objects for a certain duration of time.
It's very important that they become oriented to the testing. There's a lot of nuance to it. There's failing criteria. Once you get your hands on it and you feel how heavy everything is, you realize how much more work it is than what it looks like from the outside. So them getting their hands on the orientation, the practices is huge. The people who don't do that struggle.
Sorry, my arm's in your face.
A nice big deep breath for me. Exhale. How's that feel?
All right, have you taken a CPAP before? No? All right. Well, it's pretty self-explanatory. That first event's gonna get you. Gets everybody. You only have that one opportunity in event 2 to run, so if you can make up any time anywhere, you wanna do that. And anytime I'm training a female, you need to understand, engage that core and then push that power in, okay? You do wanna have both feet on the ground, but do step into it. You will find some power.
I work really hard to prepare myself, but it's still nothing like actually getting into it. And that Stairmaster really zaps your legs. I tried to run with the hose. My body said no, sir, but I have to keep pushing through.
All right, you guys are in the queue. How are you feeling?
Pretty good, pretty good. I feel like it's an advantage. You get to see everybody's mistakes or their advantages that they use, and you're able to move forward with them.
The importance of the little details is what I'm getting from it. It's not really about speed and strength and things like that. It's all about the little things and staying consistent.
I think you definitely get motivated watching everyone and cheering everyone on, but then as we're right here, we're like, okay, now that's gonna be us that everyone's watching. So it starts getting a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah, from what I can see, most of them are finishing the test. They're in better shape than most people we see coming off the street, which is a good thing. This is not an easy test. If you are not prepared, you will not pass.
Pretty fun, it's competitive, engaging, and they have an incredible support team right here guiding me through everything. There's a couple of moments where I had no idea what I was doing next, but I heard my proctor's voice in my ear, and it's pretty much just as easy as coloring in the lines.
2 minutes to go? Go. Yeah, 1 minute and 29 seconds. That's awesome. All right, thank you.
You actually finished it and passed with 1 second.
Oh, thank God.
Hello, hello, hi everyone. Today we'll be going over Cal-JAC Academy information as it relates specifically to the San Diego Pre-Apprenticeship EMT Academy. Who do I have here with me today?
I don't know. Who is he? I'm Jason Shanley. I'm a fire captain with the San Diego City Fire Department, and I'm happy to be here with my Cal-JAC peeps. I just want to start off, and every time I get an opportunity to say publicly how grateful I am for Cal-JAC and all the work that Cal-JAC does to make the career that I've enjoyed for the past almost 25 years accessible to the public. I'm looking forward to this interview today and just very grateful for the staff and everyone that makes these things possible. And just want to say thank you.
All right. Thank you for being here.
And I'm also in charge of recruitment for the San Diego Fire Rescue Department. I forgot about that part. That's probably important to know. And so I'm passionate about people coming in to the job and removing the red tape. We always say we can't make the process, any part of the process, easier, but what we can do is remove some of the barriers that people who don't know typically have to go through to be able to get to it. And that's the part that we want to try to relieve. We want to make this career accessible to anyone who thinks that they may want to do it, to get the information to find out if it's something that you may want to do. So happy to be here.
And so also important to note, because you're in charge of recruitment for the San Diego Fire Rescue Department, you are the person people have to go through for questions and to find out more about the process and all of that. So,
yeah, that's actually a good point. So I recommend people send emails to the joinsdfd@sandiego.gov. You can also follow us on Instagram at joinsdfd, or you can go to our website at www.joinsdfd.org. And much of what I always recommend for people is to go to the website first, and take a look. A lot of the basic questions about where can I get EMT, what do you all expect, all those kinds of things are there. There's also a link there to let you know if you want to get put on the list to be reminded when applications open. You can do that on one of the tabs as well. We're in the process of revising our website, so some things are going to change. But for right now, a lot of it is going to be right there on the website. But also, if you send an email, you'll get an auto reply if you're in the county of San Diego of where EMT classes are offered. And then depending on the questions that you may ask, when your questions are answered, there'll also be kind of a little booklet given to you that gives you an idea of how to join the fire service in San Diego County. So it's a little bit more robust. And I typically tell people to look through that stuff first so that if they want to have a conversation, because many people will say, hey, I want to talk to a recruiter. And I say, you could definitely do that, but what makes it easier is if you look up the information first, and then when we talk, you can ask very specific questions so you don't have to write it all down. So you can get us there at any of those 3 places that I just told you about.
Awesome blossom. So now that we got some of those things out of the way, you know exactly where to reach out, you know exactly where to find information. We want you to go ahead and put in the chat, for those of you that are in here, where you're watching from. We want to know where you're watching from. Have you applied to a previous, did you apply to the last academy that happened in San Diego? You know, do you know anyone that went through the academy? We just kind of want to hear information from you on that. And so also, we have a couple different things happening. So we have Courtney, who's in the chat today. Courtney! Shout out to Courtney. She'll be answering a lot of your questions today as they relate to the academy. Also, we want to introduce Courtney Brandt because she's the primary person that will be processing your application. And so we want you to know that as you submit information to her, as she reaches out to you, it's really, really vitally important that you be very responsive to the things that she needs in a timely manner. So she's going to try and get your application processed as quickly as possible. She can only do that with you. So if there's anything she needs, make sure you answer those emails and phone calls and however she communicates with you so she can go ahead and do that. With that, also important to note that we are now accepting applications. So the application is open, it's live. We've already received applications. Those are coming in. People are already getting responses on how to move forward. You just want to go to the website, caljacacademy.org, and that's where you can find the application. You'll find a lot more information about the academy, and you'll also be able to find this video. All right, so with that, I figure we could talk about what is Cal-JAC? Who is this organization that cares so much, that wants to put on this free program? Shout out to Cal-JAC. All right, and so just a very, very quick overview. Cal-JAC is known as the California Firefighter Joint Apprenticeship Committee. And so with that, we're a joint labor management partnership between the California Professional Firefighters and the California State Fire Marshal. We focus a lot on recruitment. We focus a lot on being able to assist and train and assist fire departments as they train firefighters. And so we have a lot of ways in which we go about being able to help at the different fire departments and support. But for this program specifically, the most important thing for you to know is that this program is grant funded. So Cal-JAC has gone and advocated on your behalf to find funding to be able to offer this program free of charge. And so that's why, you know, the program is free. This is also why locations are kind of determined based on, you know, department support. As all of that is coming through, really, really important to note that that's how those things kind of work in the background. So just know it's a grant-funded program. It's free to you, and when we say it's free, Jason and I will be going into detail on that throughout today's discussion to make sure you know when we tell you it's free, we mean tuition, fees, your books, your supplies. The uniform.
I always like to tell folks it's free for sure. But one of the things I like to say is that it is at no cost to the person that does it. Saying something is free, Cal-JAC has done a lot to secure the funds, to do the things that are necessary to be able to put the class on. So it's at no cost to you, which really then says that Cal-JAC is willing to invest that into the people that are looking to get into the fire service. And it's an olive branch from Cal-JAC to say we really do care about you getting into the fire service. And this is truly what you call putting your money where your mouth is. And so again, that's why I always love to say how much I love Cal-JAC and how much Cal-JAC does, because I think that as an entity, Cal-JAC is not necessarily given the public credit that they deserve. And you're certainly not out there on the corners going, hey, look at us. But when I am made aware of things and when people are made aware of organizations that are actually doing the work, I think we have a fiduciary responsibility to make it known publicly. So I want to say, Cal-JAC, we love you.
Why, thank you. Cal-JAC receives that. Cal-JAC receives that from you.
I'm just saying. No, I mean that. Seriously, I mean that. This academy is really important. The idea that what attracted me to this opportunity was it's because it's the same type of opportunity that I got when I was getting into the fire service. I had an opportunity to go to an EMT class that was based around my work schedule. I was an adult making a career switch, and there was an opportunity in San Diego at Brothers United to take an EMT class that was sponsored by the state fire marshal at the time before the NREMT, the National Registry Emergency Medical Technician certification, came out. And so me and our now current fire chief in San Diego City both took this EMT class that was at no cost to us and offered us the opportunity to get the certifications necessary. So when we met with Yvonne at a convention 2 years ago, we had already been trying to set up an EMT class in the county. This was such an amazing opportunity because it's set up around the hours where somebody who's like, I want a career switch, but I don't have time to go to EMT school 8 hours a day. So Cal-JAC said, hey, we have a way that we can solve that dilemma, and that's what y'all did. So I love the Cal-JAC EMT school. I think that, and because of what the Cal-JAC school offers to people, offers candidates, it increases the value 100 times. And you're done with this academy, you're put on a list to 175 different fire departments around the state. You get all the certifications that you would need to be put on the statewide eligibility list. I mean, just everything that you need. And because the class is geared towards the fire service, everything that a person does, you could come in like me, who didn't really understand what paramilitary means. What does that even mean? And so the class is set up it's designed so that when you're done with the class and you find yourself in a fire station, you're not lost. Like you kind of know the things that you need to do, but there's a framework there so that you don't feel super uncomfortable like I would have just walking into a fire station and trying to figure out the culture. What am I supposed to say? What do you mean by this? What do you mean by that? So the class is phenomenal to the average person who's looking to get into the fire service.
You mentioned paramilitary. Can you give an example, just a quick example of what paramilitary means? What is that?
Uniforms.
Okay.
Just wearing uniforms, right? Everybody's in the same uniform. There's a standard in terms of what your uniform is supposed to look like. There's what we call rank. There's a chain of command, like, right? You don't just go right to the fire chief if you got an issue. You know, but sometimes in your corporate job, you can go straight to the CEO or whatever. But in our business, there's a rank, and it's done that way so that we can manage large incidents, and we bring it down to the smallest thing. You go to the first person in line to ask your question because they may have the answer, and then if it needs to go further than that, then that person can take it up the chain of command. Just little things like that. That paramilitary means next to the military. Para, like next to, in the military, so it kind of mirrors the military in some ways.
It's really, really good. So people know to expect that
100%.
Because we've had people in the process before who go through the process and get to the end. They make it through the application, through all the things we're going to talk to you about, and then they realize that maybe paramilitary isn't for me. I like the structure, I like the support, I just don't want to participate in that particular part. And so it is really, really important that you know that, from the beginning. And so when talking about Cal-JAC, When talking about the program just in general, we want you to know that it's a pre-apprenticeship program. And so Cal-JAC, apprenticeship is in the title. The Cal-JAC, the California Firefighter Joint Apprenticeship Committee, we want you to know that the Cal-JAC Academy is a pre-apprenticeship opportunity. So before you get to the job, before you get all of that, Cal-JAC understands that it's really, really important for you to have this training ahead of time. Cal-JAC also knows that the fire service is very much in need of firefighters. Yes. And so to fill that need, most fire departments are going to require that you have an EMT certification as a minimal requirement. Yes. And so this will be a requirement as you look at fire departments throughout the state. Go to the FCTC website, the Firefighter Candidate Testing Center, FCTConline.org, and just take a look at the now hiring section and just kind of scroll through that and look at what fire departments are requiring. Save that in your tabs and visit that page and that section often, and you'll find that EMT for the departments that don't require a paramedic license, EMT is kind of that basic requirement that to even get your foot in the door, you absolutely have to have that, which is why at Cal-JAC we understand this is such a necessary and vital step in the process. And so we provide it free of charge because we know not everyone can afford to cover the cost of taking an EMT class, which is why we cover the cost of not only the class, all of your materials associated, like Jason was saying, at no cost. In addition to that, once you've taken the class, we're also making sure that we cover the cost of your national registry license, and any fees associated with that, just trying to make sure that we remove any barriers. And that's a big thing that Cal-JAC is about removing any barriers from the process that would prevent you from finishing in a typical class. And so for this reason, we have support infused into the program by way of, you'll have skills instructors, you'll have people, tutoring per se, assisting you with the work. You can get your questions answered. All of those things are really important, but that also speaks to why the Cal-JAC Academy is a little bit longer than the traditional EMT class that you might find offered at your local community college. So ours is 6 months long.
Well, it's 6 months short too, right? If you think about it. No, really, because it's not just the NREMT, it's not just the National Registry EMT. What you also get is the Candidate Physical Ability Test, which is another standard that a lot of departments across the state are requiring for folks to get, and that's going to demonstrate your ability to do some of the common skills or common things that you'll find yourself doing during fires. So it also provides that certificate, and it provides the training before you take the actual exam. What it also does is give you the opportunity to study, or it gives you preparation help for the written exam, because that's tough. If you've never taken a test that looks at the 4 areas that the test that Cal-JAC administers to be put on the statewide eligibility list, it gives you the opportunity to do some pre-study, to understand the way the test works, to look at some of the areas that you may not, like mechanical aptitude may be a tough thing for some people. So it gives you the opportunity to ask those questions in a courageous environment, to be able to, to know what you're going to need to do. So the class is a little bit longer because it covers a lot more stuff. It's not just your EMT. This is everything that you're going to need to be put on a list for over 175 fire departments around the state of California. So it's all encompassing. So when you're done with this class, you can't sit back, obviously, but you realize that a whole new world is opened up to you in this 6 months. And it's 6 months because it's spread out. It's a few days a week, depending on the way the class is scheduled. Like ours is Monday, Wednesdays, and then Saturdays is when our class is. But again, it's and it's in the evening times, except for on Saturdays. But again, the design is so that you can go to work during the day, and you don't have the barrier of trying to, I gotta take some days off to go to class. But then if you have children, a lot of people that are doing career changes have a family now. And so you can't just, I'm going to just get up and go move and do the things I need to do. And so one of the things that's included in this class is childcare. That's a barrier for some people. And so we want to remove that barrier to remove any reason why you wouldn't want to do it. But then also sometimes travel is covered. Travel's covered. So feel that you're going to need to get where you need to go. So those are all things things that are covered. So
let's talk more specifically about each of those things
Yes.
that are offered throughout the academy.
Copy.
So by participating in the Cal-JAC EMT Academy, should you be selected to go through the process, we want you to know that you'll get training. The class itself is the training that you'll need to work as an EMT. You'll get hands-on experience. You'll get the support academically. At the end, when you get the chance to sit for the National Registry exam, that's the exam that certifies you as an EMT. Cal-JAC covers the cost of that. As Jason was saying, you get through FCTC, the Firefighter Candidate Testing Center. These things are also provided. You also get the Candidate Physical Ability Test. This is the CPAT, and so this is required for any person that is a firefighter, wants to become a firefighter, all of those things. This academy provides that, and so we want to shout out FCTC for that and thank them for providing that. Also, FCTC is providing the Cal-JAC written exam or the Cal-JAC written test. And so when you see that, this is also another requirement. A written test is just a general standard for fire departments up and down the state. And so there's many, that you should be testing with. We want you to look into all of them. FCTC offers one, the Cal-JAC written test. And so we want you to go ahead and take the Cal-JAC written test, the FCTC written test, that thing. And so also when it comes to preparatory instruction, we want you to know that there's preparatory resources out there that are available. This is an excellent opportunity to take advantage of getting some training on the written test as well as the CPAT. You can also get training on the CPAT to be able to practice it. We want you to come to the facility, go to the facility that you'll be taking the test at, and I believe closest to San Diego would be the newest facility.
In Carlsbad.
There we go.
Carlsbad.
There we go. We want you to go to the
Seabad,
Carlsbad,
as they know. Seabad.
Seabad, or the Carlsbad location to be able to practice and take the CPAT, that kind of thing. And then also graduates from the Cal-JAC Academy are then going to be added onto the FCTC's statewide eligibility list. And so this is an awesome opportunity. Jason was mentioning this is where fire departments hire from. So nowadays when fire departments are hiring, many of them use this list in their hiring process. They require that you're on it. And so that tells them that you have your CPAT, being on this statewide eligibility list. We call it the SEL. When you're on that list, it tells a fire department that you have your driver's license, you're 18 or older, you have your high school diploma, minimally or higher education, you've passed the CPAT, and you've also passed the written test. And so it's a great place to be, especially if you're looking to get hired by a fire department. So for anyone who's watching who attended a previous academy and you're still looking to get on the statewide eligibility list, or you're looking to get hired by a fire department, wanting to make sure that all of your certifications are up to date, all of your information is up to date on your FCTC profile. Cool beans. And so with that, we want to talk about some success. We've had many candidates go through the process and experience a lot of success. They've come out with tangible skills, real skills that they learned in the real world while training in the Cal-JAC EMT Academy. And some have been hired by fire departments. And so we have interviews on the platform where you can hear from people that have gone on to be hired by fire departments. And so we want you to hear their stories as well. So make sure you go ahead and tune in and watch those episodes as well, where you can hear specifically from graduates of the Cal-JAC EMT Academy. The other thing we want to talk about is we want to talk about diversity. And so we want you to know that that each of the identities that you hold, each of the groups that you represent just as a whole person matter. And so those things are really important in the fire service. Myself, just a couple identities that I hold. I'm a woman, I'm a Black woman. And so those experiences, if I were to seek the opportunity to become a firefighter, I bring that specific lens into the fire service. And so we want you to know that the identities that you hold, you also bring the breadth of those experiences into the fire service, and those matter, and those are very valued. And so we want you to know that at Cal-JAC, We understand that, good firefighters represent the community that they serve. 100%. And so we want each of you to go ahead and apply. We don't want you to self-eliminate or anything like that. We want you to continue to go through the process. All right, so where is the Cal-JAC Academy located?
Hey, so the San Diego Cal-JAC Academy is located at the San Diego College of Continuing Education. For those who are in San Diego, it's called ECC, the Educational Cultural Complex. That's the main campus, and it's located at 4343 Ocean View Boulevard in San Diego, right on Ocean View Boulevard in San Pascal, I believe is the cross street. It's a really, that school is amazing for multiple reasons. Super gracious that they hosted it for us. But one of the things, and the reason why we chose that location was because it was the classes that are in San Diego are typically either far south, far north, or east. You go west, you're going to be in the water. So there's no classes that are on boats at this point. Maybe we can move Cal-JAC to a ship at some point. That'd be kind of cool to take a water EMT class. I don't know. But west is in the water. But for now, right? Yes, for now, ECC is kind of in the center of the city. And the idea was that that was another barrier, right? Someone that, and while we say barrier, it doesn't mean a barrier doesn't mean you're poor or you don't know what you're doing or whatever. A barrier is just something that you have to overcome to get somewhere. And everybody has barriers. Whether you're rich or not, you have barriers. The difference is some people have more resources to get over their barriers, right? So, and that's the only difference. It has nothing to do with the person's ability necessarily. That could be it though too. It's not necessarily saying that, but one of the barriers is that for us the classes were too far away from people who live in the middle of the city. And so we wanted to have a class that, like Chief Logan and I during the time, were able to go somewhere that was more convenient. Getting off work, we wanted to be somewhere closer to home so we didn't have to go wait and fight traffic and do all that. So ECC was gracious enough to allow us to have it there. So we're super, super grateful for ECC. Shout out to Dr. King at ECC, the president of the college.
And when you're saying Chief Logan, you're talking about the fire chief of the San Diego Fire Department.
I like the way yeah, it's not just San Diego Fire Department, it's the. Yeah, no, it is our fire chief, as I said originally. We both started this whole process together. And again, this EMT class opportunity that Cal-JAC is offering is almost an exact representation without all the other support stuff that we got. That's what made us believe in it so much.
All right, so in terms of location, it's going to be at ECC, the San Diego College of the San Diego College of Continuing Education. Dates for the class. And so you can find all of this information on the website as well. We just want to run through it with you, and maybe that makes it a little bit easier to digest, or you can just kind of listen to it as you're doing other things. But date for the classes are going to start July 21st, 2025, and so there's an introductory online portion, and so this is going to run from July 21st through August 1st. This is going to be Mondays and Wednesdays from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. So just make sure that you're available for that. I believe there's also a Saturday portion from 8 to 12, and you can go online to confirm that. Cool beans. So yes, for the online portion, July 21st through August 1st, Monday and Wednesday from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Next, the in-person classes are going to start, and this is where it's going to the fun part is going to start at the San Diego College of Continuing Education. This is going to happen August 4th through January 26th. This will be Mondays and Wednesdays from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. and then Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. So again, definitely tailored for the person that has a job. We understand a lot of the people that apply for this academy already have a job, already have a family, already have many of those things sorted out, and are just looking to enhance their career. And so that kind of explains the reason for the hours. So during the week, it's going to be in the evening, Saturdays all day, Sunday all yours. So you can use that time to study and all of that. So let's go ahead, let's look at the chat here and let's just see what people are talking about. So I saw someone watching from Rancho Cucamonga.
Somebody from Sacramento I saw up there.
There we go.
Some of the other ones passed. But
yeah.
I wanted to address one of the things I saw in there. Somebody put that they felt like they were misled and they thought that the statewide eligibility list was the most important thing. And that's a reminder, something that I remind people about. It's important it's important for me to make sure that I understand what I'm asking and understand what I'm being told. And so one of the things I found in life is that sometimes I ask questions and what I realized is I thought that it was somebody else that wasn't giving me the right answer, but sometimes it's the way that I hear information. And so, and sometimes it's not it's not always my fault. Sometimes I think I know what's being said and I don't. And so I'm not saying that maybe there shouldn't have been a better answer given or whatever, I don't know, but I just want to encourage those of you who are getting into this process to kind of learn the art of asking questions. It's really important. It's important that you get the information that you need, but what's also important is that you do the work of reading, right? Read what's necessary. Sometimes I'll read something and I'll hear what I want to hear. And unfortunately, in processes that are timed and have specific deadlines, sometimes the things that I read and hear, I misunderstand and I miss an opportunity. But I just want to encourage the person that may have felt that they were misdirected or misguided. I think I can confidently say that all the work that Cal-JAC is doing for these opportunities to become available, whatever was done, if it was at the fault, it wasn't done intentionally. And so I want to encourage you to stay in the process. One of the things about this career that I always say is that whatever you have to invest in this, you'll never invest more than what this career will pay you back. And so I want to ask you to discipline your disappointment. You may be disappointed, but get back in the fight, get back in, continue to go through the process, and maybe ask different questions this time. But I can assure you that whatever happened, Cal-JAC wasn't trying to, if that's what happened, purposely mislead you or do anything like that. Absolutely not. They're trying to make sure that people are as prepared as they can possibly be for any opportunity that comes your way. So get back on the horse and start riding again. That's important.
Absolutely. And you'll have the opportunity to ask any of those questions. You can always reach out to us on the Cal-JAC Academy website. You can always submit questions there. You can always reach out to Courtney specifically if you have a question that may be more specific to your unique case, because some things are on a case-by-case basis. And so we'll want to make sure to really evaluate the information that you're submitting to us. But a good place to be able to ask some questions, let's talk about the process. Before we get into specific admission requirements, let's talk about the process and what you can expect, and then we can identify a couple places where you can ask your questions, which is really, really important.
There's a process question right at the end here. Jeremy Hemsley asked, I know SDFD opens up hiring once a year. When will applications open back up for potential candidates with SDFD? So real quick, typically our application opens up in January and it stays open for 30 days. Our application closed February 3rd this year. So what we say typically is that January is when we open up our applications. But if you go to our website under the Submit an Application tab, because it's not open right now, the job interest list will be one of the things that you can select and put your information down and put your name on the list to be notified when applications open up again. So I just wanted to make sure Jeremy got that information.
Thank you.
Jonathan said he's watching from rainy San Diego. It's raining in San Diego?
It's not raining in Sacramento.
Sorry, San Diego. I'm glad I'm gone. I'm just telling you that right now. Much love from here in San Diego. Hey, Michelle. How are you?
Cool beans, cool beans. So with that, we want you to know that we are now accepting applications. So just go to the CalJACAcademy.org website. You can submit your application there. The deadline to submit is going to be May 25th of this year, 2025. We will not accept any applications after 11:59 p.m. So you have all day on the 25th to be able to submit your information. The earlier, the better. Again, we're already receiving applications. We've already already pushed people to the next step of the process because Courtney has received all their information. We want that to be you. So go ahead, get your application in now, and that way you can move forward with the next steps. Let's see, so after you submit your application, there's then a mandatory in-person academic assessment. And so this is really just assessing to see where you are academically. The material is written at a certain grade level, and so in order to be successful in the class, we want to make sure that you have those skills already. And so we're just assessing for that. And so the week that that assessment will be happening is going to be June 2nd, the week of June 2nd, 2025. So if you know you're not going to go to the website to dig and find this information, write that down. Deadline, May 25th, and then also the mandatory in-person academic assessment. Lots of information there. So this is an assessment that's going to happen in person. It's going to be happening the week of June 2nd. Next, there's a mandatory online orientation. This one's happening online. You can tune in online. It is mandatory that you attend. The orientation is an excellent place to get any questions you have answered. Absolutely. The entire Cal-JAC team will be here. In regard to this academy specifically, you'll be able to hear from the people who've put everything together, the directors, instructors, all of that. And so we'll be talking to you that evening just about our expectations of you. So you know exactly what it is that you're signing up for at that time. If you haven't already, excellent place to ask any questions. Excellent place for that. That's happening that'll be in the evening, and it'll be the week of June 9th. It'll be June 9th. That's when that's happening. So make sure you lock that date in. Also, we have interviews, and so interviews happen after the orientation. Again, the orientation is an exchange of information. It's us imparting information into you. We also want you to ask any questions you have of us as well. To make sure that this academy, we ask a lot to make sure that it's a good fit for you as you progress through the process and are hopefully selected. So with that, there are entrance interviews, and so these are going to happen. They'll be held in person. There's also a physical ability review that's happening on that same day, if you haven't already taken CPAT within the last 6 months. And so again, this is something you can kind of go over with Courtney. Maybe you were already applying or already in a different application process. You've recently taken the CPAT. You consider yourself pretty fit and no physical injuries or anything like that. And so if not, the physical ability review is really just an assessment to see where you are, to see if we would have to modify anything because there is such a strong physical component as you're going through the academy. So we'll just want to make sure of that. And so that interview is being held in person. It'll be June 10th through the 12th of this year. So make sure you have each of these dates blocked off because each of you that are selected will have to go through that process. And then there's mandatory onboarding. And so this is happening for cadets that are conditionally accepted. And so this will be happening the evening of June 30th, 2025. So again, multiple opportunities for you to ask any questions you have, multiple opportunities for you to seek out more information, either on the website, by contacting us directly, or at any of these different events that you have throughout the process. So very quick recap, deadline for applications, which we are now accepting. The deadline is May 25th. There's an in-person academic assessment that's happening the week of June 2nd. There's a mandatory online orientation happening in the evening on June 9th. There's interviews that'll happen for the academy, and so those are happening June 10th through 12th. Those are in person. They're also mandatory. And then also there's, lastly, there's the onboarding process, which will happen, excuse me, the evening of June 30th. So lock in each of those dates, and man, all right. So lots and lots there. Did you have anything you want to add before we go ahead and talk about requirements for the academy?
Yeah, you heard about the deadlines. It's important. It's important. It happens all the time. For some reason, people decide to wait till the last minute. Preparation is key to good opportunities. So I want to encourage you, if you're watching this, there's no excuse for you not to understand May 25th. I mean, I'm not even looking. And you said May 25th, right? Yeah, 11:59. All the way they give you to. I mean, till you in bed, you can wake up at 11 o'clock and like, oh, yeah, you can wake up like, I forgot to put my, you know what I mean? You still got time. You can go to sleep, forget, and wake up again and put it in. So that means that May 26th, it's too late. And so if you're thinking about doing it, prepare to do it right now. Prepare to do it right now. And I just wanted to re-emphasize reaching out to Courtney if you have questions. Reach out. Ask your questions and ask again. If you didn't get the answer that you were asking, try to ask it a different way. The other thing is pay attention. A lot of times people will ask questions that are, if you haven't gone to the website yet, if you haven't gone to the there's a whole website that has.
Locked in.
Please just go to the website. Go to the website and look over some stuff. You have time to kind of look at it, and that way, when you call Courtney, you're not answering stuff that she's going to go to the website and be. You know what I mean? You'll have a much more productive conversation if you look at the website first. You got to look at the website. Go to the website. Go to the website.
Where should they go, Jason?
Where's the website at? Well, you can. So there's a couple of ones. You can go to our website at joinsdfd.org, or you can go to the Cal-JAC website at caljacacademy.org. See, I was going. She just had to say it with me. This is what. This is what. Hey, this is what friends are for right here. caljacacademy.org. Seriously, and I'm saying it being kind of joking. Because it's easier to hear it if it's said like a joke, but I'm being absolutely serious. Go to the website and ask and literally, because the questions that you ask most likely have already been asked, and maybe not, but maybe they probably have, and it just shows that you're willing to do what's necessary. You are going to have to work to get this career. It's not going to be handed to you. Cal-JAC cannot give you a career. What they can do is provide opportunities for us to get the careers, but we have to do the work. And I'm telling you, it's worth it. Do the work. It's worth it.
That part. all of
Did I say
that
it was worth it? Do the work.
All of that part. Also, if you follow us maybe on social media platforms and that's where you're seeing, a clip of this longer video, go ahead, watch the longer video. Jason and I, who's a captain with the San Diego Fire Department, go over all the details and everything that you need to know specifically for the San Diego EMT Academy, and just kind of everything that you need to know for that. So go ahead, go to the link tree, and find more information about the Cal-JAC Academy. It'll bring you right there. So in terms of application requirements, these are all documents that are needed to successfully complete your application. So you can go ahead, you can submit an application. It doesn't mean it's complete, and it doesn't mean you've successfully completed it if it's not complete. So we're going to talk about how to complete your application. First, you want to go fill out the application.
You got to complete the application.
There you go.
Yeah, that's the first thing.
You're going to need your high school diploma or GED, or your highest level of education. If it comes to transcripts, unofficial transcripts, totally okay. You're going to need a copy of your driver's license. We have some people that have had to get their driver's license in the process. And so if that's you, you'll want to sign up as soon as possible in order to get that. This next step I'm going to mention is actually optional. And so there's a lot more information about financial status on the website. We want you to be mindful that this is a free academy. And so, you can submit your proof of financial status. And so if you choose to do that, there is preference. You'll receive priority in the process. Just priority will be given to individuals who can demonstrate financial need. Again, this is a free program with the intention of finding people who really need this opportunity. But does that limit you to only being able to apply if you have financial need? Not at all. And so if you don't have that particular issue or anything like that, please still submit your application. Cal-JAC Academy welcomes all to apply. And so we just had those requirements there on the screen. Make sure that you adhere to each of those, and you do have to be 18 in order to apply. So just another quick recap on that, on just the application requirements in general. You do have to go online, submit the application. You do have to be 18 in order to do that. You're going to have to submit your highest level of education, minimally your high school diploma or GED. Unofficial transcripts, totally fine with us to submit. You're going to need a valid driver's license. It does not have to be from California, but it does have to be valid. You have to be legally able to work in the U.S. And if you choose to go the way of submitting your financial information, you'll have to submit proof of your financial status. And so just know that priority is provided to individuals who can demonstrate financial need. And so just a couple things on that. And so in order to do that, you're also going to have your 2024 tax return. So very important that you either have filed or that you get caught up on that if that's something that you'll have to submit. So moving on, we're going to go ahead and jump right into number 7 on our list, which is required
prior to official admission.
There we go. Say that again.
Number 7 on our list. Required prior to official admission.
Okay.
And the selection process.
There we go. So
hey.
you've completed those steps we just talked about.
Yeah.
You've successfully completed your application. You've submitted that. And so Courtney doesn't need anything else from you to complete your application. This is what you can expect next. So there's a mandatory orientation that you'll have to attend. There's also, you'll have to pass the Cal-JAC academic assessment. And so we talked a little bit ago, this is mandatory, this is happening in person, mandatory part of the process. You'll have to be 18 or older before July 21st. Sometimes we've had students that find out about this program, they just graduated from high school, they are so excited. As long as you're 18, by the 21st of July, you qualify in order to continue as part of the process. You'll also have to pass a DOJ background check. And so this is the Department of Justice. You'll have to pass a background check. And so this is something that there's a cost associated. You won't have to cover that cost. Cal-JAC will cover the cost of that for you. You'll also have to pass a drug screening. And so with that, there's a cost associated with that as well. Cal-JAC will also cover the cost of that for you as well. You'll have to submit proof of up-to-date vaccinations. The list of all the vaccines that are required are listed on the website, but just so that you have an idea, you'll have to have your TB test, your flu shot, your MMR, Tdap, varicella, HB, or I'm sorry, Hep B. I'm sorry about that. And
HB. I don't know what that is, but all right. You need that too. HB.
I don't know what that is either. Oh man. And then the other thing is COVID is not required at this specific time. But just know that there may be additional vaccines that come up that you'll have to submit, and know that Cal-JAC is not selecting, we're not going through and identifying all of these vaccines you have to take. What we do is we adhere to whatever the hospital's policies are, because as part of the academy, you'll have to do clinicals. And so because you'll have to work on an ambulance and in a hospital setting, those are the requirements to get on the ambulance, and those are the requirements to work in the hospital to get that clinical hands-on experience. And so whatever rules they set, Cal-JAC adheres to that. So that kind of explains that list of the vaccines in terms of the requirement. There also is a physical that you'll have to take. You'll have to get medical clearance. Generally speaking, this will be a physical, and you'll have to be approved by a physician in order to do that. We talked a little bit about this earlier. You'll have to submit either a CPAT within the last 6 months, excuse me, or you can do a physical ability review. And so this will happen if you don't have a CPAT within the last 6 months. If you've never heard of CPAT before, you'll probably have to do the physical ability review. That'll happen on the same day as your interview, so just make sure you bring a backup set of clothes. Again, Courtney will be in touch with you about your interview and everything you'll need to bring on that day. We do not believe in surprises. We will not be surprising you at any step of the process. You can always go to the website. You can always call us directly and find out exactly what's required. All right, so we have made it to, we're gonna go back to the chat and just kind of check and see We have a question. How can we best prepare for the assessment? And so, assuming this is the academic assessment, we want you to go ahead and really just brush up on your reading and math skills. I personally have encountered a few, I won't exaggerate, I have personally experienced a few candidates who have state jobs. You know, they work for the state, they have a very stable job, they're looking to change their career, and so we're aware that a large part of the audience that follows the Becoming a Firefighter platform are people that have jobs. They already have a career, they want to switch from a job to a career or from whatever career they're in to be in the fire service. And so they're taking tests, they're doing things all the time. But without really brushing up on your math and reading skills and making sure that minimally you're at a 10th grade level in both, I've seen people that have stable jobs not pass. And so it's not that it's difficult, it's not that you don't know these things, it's just that you don't use that type of knowledge on a regular day-to-day basis. And so we want you to do your own due diligence and just make sure that you're going back to brush up on any skills that you already know, that you just don't use on a regular basis. And so for that, we would definitely strongly encourage you to go ahead and just brush up on your reading and math skills, just to make sure that you can get the highest score possible so that you test at a 10th grade level.
Can I also suggest FCTC has a practice exam, FCTC, the Fire Candidate Testing Center, FCTC, has a practice exam on their website. If you go to fctc.org, is that what it is?
FCTConline.
FCTConline.org, there's a practice exam. I got to practice saying practice. Imagine that. But because when you say 10th grade math, my brain is like, what is 10th grade math? So you can get a chance to see what is going to actually be on the assessment, on the actual test part. You'll see when they say 10th grade math, what does that actually mean? And it'll give you a flow of the way the questions are answered, the way that the test is going to be presented to you is going to be in the FCTC exam online. So go to fctconline.org and look up their practice written exam, and that'll give you a good idea of what Lasana was just talking about in terms of being at the 10th grade level.
Yeah, just a sample, and you'll want to, brush up on any of the practice tests that you can find, and this is a really, really good one because you can download it right from the website, and there's questions in there, there's videos in there that you can watch and kind of answer questions back on your ability to recall visual information, which is a totally different skill, but also very important.
There's another part of it where you don't, like you said, you don't use this information on a regular basis. So, there may be a question of if wheel A is turning this way, which direction is wheel G gonna turn in? And it's like, I don't know. I never, you know what I mean? I deliver mail. You know what I mean? Yeah. I deliver mail. Or I work in the retail space. So just so you're not surprised, you'll get an opportunity to see what they're actually gonna be asking you about, and you'll get a chance to see that, because it's really not designed to trick you. The problem is we just don't see these things regularly. So when you show up, you're like, oh, wow, I didn't know. So FCTConline.org, you'll find a lot of information. Even if you're like, what is a CPAT? I don't even know what that is. It'll give you an example it'll talk a little bit about the requirements and what's needed and stuff. So that's another valuable resource for you.
So we also want to talk to you about how many applicants will Cal-JAC be accepting. And so the reality is there's not enough room for everyone to get into the academy, but we do have spaces for 35. And so in order to get the 35, we need enough people to be able to apply, enough people to be able to go through the process. And that way we can make room for as many as we can. And if you could hear the conversations at Cal-JAC behind the scenes, we are always trying to squeeze in and fit one more. Can we fit one more? And just that kind of thing, because the heart of the people that work here is we really, really want to see everyone be successful. We would love to accept as many as possible, but a comfortable capacity so that for instructors as well as for students in the class to make sure you actually have the time and enough people to do a study group and kind of all of those things. 35 will be accepting that many for the San Diego EMT Academy.
I want to add to this too, because I think it's important for you to realize how many applications are being accepted. We'll accept 1,000. You could, if 1,000 people turn in applications, you can turn in 1,000 applications, but we're only going to accept a certain number into the class. But Lasana, you said something earlier that I think is important. Oh. Don't you select yourself. Don't you select whether or not I can't do it. All these people are going to apply.
Eliminate.
Don't eliminate.
Yeah,
Sorry, that's what I knew there was. Yeah, don't eliminate yourself in this process. Submit your application. I'm telling you, submit your application. You don't know if you're going to make it into the class. And some people are going to hear, oh, there's a financial need, or I don't have a financial. Submit your application. Submit the application. Don't sabotage your opportunity because you assumed that you knew the answer to a question that you don't know the answer to. So submit your application. I'm telling you, there are so many people right now who are not pursuing the career. They're not looking into opportunities. And I'll just say, in the opportunities in life, because they've already determined the answer before they asked the question or made the attempt. That is important that we don't do that. You don't know what a fire department is looking for. You don't know what anyone's looking for. And they may be looking for you, but if they can't see you, they're gonna pick somebody else. So don't be like the person who says, I was gonna apply, but I was gonna do this, but I once heard that excuses are tools of the incompetent, used to build bridges to nowhere. you know what I mean? and to build monuments of nothingness.
Say it again.
Yeah, excuses are tools of the incompetent, used to build bridges to nowhere and monuments of nothingness. And those that use them seldom excel in anything else. And so I want to encourage you, submit your application. We're being funny, but I'm really being serious. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do it to the fire service. Don't say I'm not good for the fire service, or they're looking for this group, or they're looking. I'm telling you, you don't know. You don't know what it is. You don't know the answer to that. So submit your application.
Absolutely. And with that, one of the things I'd like to add is that we hear from candidates all the time who feel like their skills aren't transferable, their experience isn't transferable. And so, again, we know that many of you watching this, or many of you that are in the process, you already have a job. And so you're looking to change your career. We hear all the time the various jobs people used to work. And so just a quick example, we recently did a recruitment in the spotlight with Hayward Fire Department. And so they were able to talk about the amazing things that they're doing in Hayward. Definitely go check out the video. We've done one with San Diego Fire Rescue. We've done one with many different fire departments. Go check out that series on YouTube, Becoming a Firefighter. The playlist is Recruitment in the Spotlight. But during the show, one of the firefighter panelists talked about, he used to be a valet. He used to work valet. And so he didn't have fire experience. And so we just want you to know that those customer service skills that you're honing, all of that is applicable to the fire service in terms of not eliminating yourself. The fire service is very adaptable and will find a way to incorporate all of the skills that you bring to the table. But you can't eliminate yourself in order for that to happen.
Customer service is what we do.
That part.
Believe it or not, I was a barber.
There we go.
Before I came in, and I know it.
You were a barber.
Hey, you know what I mean? They say don't get too close to a barber shop. You might get your hair cut. That's what happened. But no, I was a barber, but I realized that my ability to relate to a wide variety of people because I had a wide clientele, and so that's exactly what we do in the fire service. We go to random people's homes and we have to ask them random questions about their random ailment or whatever they called 911 for. And so your ability to be able to relate to people is good. If you're someone who is an athlete, there's a question here, one of the questions about, as a former athlete in San Diego, what can I add to my toolbox or resume that would allow me to stand out once I complete my EMT and other basic requirements? And being an athlete is something that is good because a lot of what we do in the job is physical. There's a lot, you don't have to be an athlete to be a part of it. You just have to be able to do the physical requirements of the job. And so athletes typically, not always, not all athletes make good firefighters. There's not all of any one type of person, but one of the things that we talk about is that your ability to work on a team as an athlete, that makes you a good candidate sometimes. And so to answer that specific question, what can I do to stand out, is learn how to articulate how you being an athlete is going to make you a good firefighter. And that's the reason why you should read up on what the career is. What do we do? Look at the job description of a fire recruit. Look at what firefighters do. And you have to be able to talk to the person that's interviewing you for the job, not for the EMT Academy, but for the job. You have to be able to tell that person how you being an athlete is going to be a good fit and how you're going to be able to do the job. So being able to articulate the things that we've done, and you're right, so often people go, oh, this skill doesn't matter here. You don't know. Like, again, you don't know. So as you begin to get in these relationships,
working at a grocery
come
store,
on, all of that stuff.
We see all
of that stuff. Everything. You see everything. All walks of life. That's why we always say diversity does not necessarily, it does not mean ethnic only. Diversity is everything from all walks of life, because we want our departments nationwide, specifically in California, and primarily for me in San Diego, to reflect the communities that we serve. We have people that work in grocery stores, we have people that are baristas, people that work at gyms, we have teachers, we have counselors, we have police officers, we have all kinds of people that we serve. And so having a wide variety of people on our department gives us the ability to provide the best customer service that we can to the people that we're serving.
Absolutely.
So, yep.
Absolutely. Also important that, that sometimes diversity is something you can't see. Sometimes it is something that you can see. And so we want to make sure that you physically see yourself or people that look like you in the fire service. And so with that, we had a question about when is the next academy coming to the Bay Area? We don't have a particular date. Again, these are grant-funded programs, and so we're always looking to rotate programs around the state. And so that comes with a lot of different steps, support specifically. And so if we can find enough people that are interested, and we've done an EMT Academy in the Bay Area before, if we can find enough interest, if we can find some support in order to be able to do that, we would love to move the program around the state as much as possible. But again, it really all depends on funding. So we had the next question is, what tentative date will you be sending out acceptances for the Academy?
It says there's a mandatory in-person onboarding for cadets conditionally accepted to the class, and that would be held on the evening of June 30th. So the question of what tentative date will you be sending out acceptances for the Academy, mandatory in-person onboarding is going to be June 30th, 2025 for cadets conditionally accepted to the class. So June 30th, 2025 is the date that they're going to be sending out acceptances for the Academy, and it's conditional. So you want to make sure that you're there.
Yeah. And if you're looking for like maybe a range of time, interviews are happening June 10th through 12th, and so that onboarding is happening in person June 30th. So it would be some time in between there. You would be notified after the oral interview that you have in person, but before June 30th, if you're just looking more for like a range of time. But again, the sooner you can submit your application, the earlier you can get yourself into the process and kind of move forward with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the interview process too, for the way Cal-JAC did these interviews.
Oh, tell us, what'd you like?
Hey,
what'd you like about it?
I just got to say, number one, shout out to Cal-JAC again for making this process one that someone like me, who I don't really know what happens if I'm new to this thing and I don't really know what to expect. I don't know how to say the things that may need to be said in order for me to get in there. Like, that's a barrier that's been removed. Cal-JAC really wants to just know you and to see, are you going to be a good fit? And so one of the tips to interviewing is be yourself. Just be yourself. You don't have to try to put on an air or you just have to be yourself. And so when they ask questions, tell the truth. Just give an honest answer. When I see the people that were accepted for the last class. You talk about a wide variety of people. I mean, the diversity in that class. I mean, there was somebody. We had a D1 athlete that was like this, you know what I mean, and someone that looked like me. That look, you know what I mean? It just like, I mean, so and that's all due to the way Cal-JAC does the interview. The way Cal-JAC does a selection process is what we would consider equitable, right? It's equitable. And so you can be yourself with Cal-JAC. You can be yourself going through this process. You don't have to have the fear of like, this is gonna keep me from doing it or this. You don't have to have that. And I wanna emphasize again, don't self-select. Is that what you said? Or
self-eliminate.
Yeah, I keep saying self-select. Same thing. Some of y'all think you're gonna get, no, but self-eliminate. Yeah, look. That's what a good sister would do. Let me write this down because she knows I don't, Don't self-eliminate. Don't eliminate yourself before you get going. But I really do want to say this is one of those interviews that you don't have to go in and like shake and wonder, am I going to say the right thing? You can literally go in and be yourself, and there's no tricks. That's really important when you're going into an interview. Like, oh, I missed this. I should have said that. I'm not saying don't prepare, but I'm saying and you need to know yourself. But like, they're not trying to.
And we're not trying to trick you. We're not trying to stump you up or anything like that. Look at the interviews, and the fact of the matter is not everybody interviews well. Not everyone's comfortable just talking about themselves and the accomplishments and hanging pictures of themselves or just kind of whatever that looks like. Not everyone's comfortable with that. And so we want you to practice that so that you can be comfortable, because we do need you to highlight the things that you've done. So we need you to be comfortable talking about yourself. We need you to try and get a little bit better at that. But like Jason was saying, we're not expecting, this is not a fire department interview. This is preparing you to get to that point. And so we want you to come in, we want you to let your guard down. Only when your guard is down can we get to know you. Your interview panel, the people that are there, are really just asking questions to deepen what it is you're saying, so we get more depth and understanding of you as a person. Because if you really think about it, the only engagement that you really have with us is your application, any interactions that you have with Courtney as she's going back and forth with you and getting information, the orientation that you attend, which is mandatory. You get to ask questions there. We get to see you, that kind of thing. You get to see us, and then the interview. And so, and if you do, the physical assessment that you may have to do along the way. And so we also get to see you for the academic assessment, but there's so few, you can count on your hand the amount of interactions that we'll have with you. And so really utilize that interview to allow us to see who you are, maybe things that we wouldn't have seen throughout other parts of the process. And so just kind of keeping that in mind, that's your time to shine. And so don't waste it. Really utilize that. And again, we're not here to trick you on anything.
I know.
Yeah. And dressed as nice as you can. You don't have to show up in a suit, but as nice as you can show up. Just make sure you put your best foot forward for that specifically. So moving forward, we have another question. We're going to jump into some FAQs that, again, you can find on the website. We want you to dig, find this information. But again, people have different learning styles, and so if it helps to hear it from someone, we're going to run through those in just a moment. But do you have to be updated on all vaccinations to be hired by the San Diego Fire Department?
When they say all vaccinations, are they? I don't know exactly.
That list of let's see, this list. To
get into the Cal-JAC Academy, you have to have to get into the academy. You have to have what's there. So if you're looking for this opportunity to be able to get into the fire service, then the answer to your question is based on what Cal-JAC says. Okay. I need to. And I don't know if you're asking specific. A lot of times I think I don't want to make an assumption of what you're asking. If you could be more specific as to what you mean, certainly you have to have the same vaccines that are necessary everywhere, I would imagine, but I don't want to answer that question without knowing what they actually are. So I'm not sure what the specific, I've literally never been asked that question before. That's okay. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, I don't know. But I want you to have an answer to your question. Yeah. So I will get back to you. If you can maybe send an email address to Courtney, I'll email you that before the day is out, and I need you to help me to remember that because you know me. I took my ADD medication today, and I'm doing quite well, I would say.
All right, so let me write down vaccines question. All right. So
this
we
is
can
a
make
good-
sure to
this
get
is
back
a-
to you on that
This is a
specifically.
good. Can I go to these FAQs? Can I start off with this first one?
Before we jump into the FAQs, I do want to ask. Thank you. I do want to ask a question. I do want to kind of delve into a topic that comes up in these information sessions some of the time, and so we want to make sure that we address it head on. People ask, hey, what if I have marijuana, or what if I have weed in my system, or something like that? And so we want you to know that when going through the application process, that drug screen is really important. Marijuana is one of the things that they will test for. Cal-JAC Academy, the organization, we're very aware of what the laws are and what's legal in California and all of those things. We do want to make sure that you're aware you have to have a clean clean results from your drug test of any substance. So there can't be, any of those substances in your system as you're going through the process. So we just want to make sure everyone's aware. You will have to submit that clean report in order to move forward in the process. So if that's you, take a moment, clean up, and just make sure that you're ready by the time that application comes around and as you go through the entire academy. So we want to be very upfront and just make sure you're aware of that, again, so that there's no surprises. So with that, we can go ahead and jump right into the FAQs. You wanted to kick it off. Let's go.
All right, well, here. So is it really free?
Oh, so these aren't FAQs.
What is it?
Let's breeze through these. So these are questions we typically get, and these come up all the time. Is Cal-JAC really free? Is it really free?
Wouldn't that be an FAQ then? Frequently
yes,
asked
but it's
questions?
not on the website.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right. Hey. I just woke up 3 hours ago. What do you want me to do? Okay, so not an FAQ. Hey, language matters. I get it. I'm sorry. Will you accept my apology? My goodness.
Accept it.
Man, brother-sister stuff here. I don't know what's going on here or whatever. Yeah.
OMG. Okay, so we want you to know.
Questions we often receive.
There we go.
Okay, there we go. Questions we often receive. Is it really free? Mm-hmm. Yes, all of the following is provided by Cal-JAC. Tuition and fees, uniforms, PT clothes, textbooks, and supplies, all paid for. So remember, is it free? Yes, but no, it's paid for. It's at no cost to you. So none of this is free. Someone has to pay for these things to be done. You don't. So it is free to you, but it's not free. And I always want to make that caveat so that we remain grateful and humble for things that are given to us, things that are being provided to us. So yes, it is free. It's no cost to you. And Cal-JAC is going to pay for tuition and fees, uniforms, and your PT clothing. And they're also going to pay for textbooks and supplies. Yes, super good opportunity.
Your gas mileage and assistance.
Gas mileage is also going to be covered for you, and child care costs. Mm-hmm. There is nothing that is good. I can't say nothing, but the common things that keep people from being able to do these kinds of opportunities are going to be covered by Cal-JAC. Again, thank you, Cal-JAC, for always being forward thinking.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Shout out to the team for
to the team.
I get to hear those internal conversations on that, I know it's just really
That's
important
why I love y'all, man.
to the team here. That's what we have. We have nothing but hearts for people.
There we go.
We want to see you win. So with that, you're going to see our flyers all over San Diego. You're going to see them at your universities, gyms, grocery stores, all of that. And so the number one question that we get when people see our flyer is, I've never heard of them. Are they reputable? I don't know who Cal-JAC is.
Right.
And so for that, the fire chief of the San Diego Fire Department has approved the logo to be put, the patch to be put on the flyer. So we're very, very happy about that. Absolutely. So you all can see that we are affiliated and working very closely along with the San Diego Fire Rescue Fire Department. So we want you to know that. Also, we totally get, what it means or what that feels like to see an organization hosting something. You want to take the opportunity, but nowadays a lot of things just feel really scammy.
Yeah.
This is not a scam.
Not at all.
It's not a scam. It's a real program. Cal-JAC has a long history in the fire service, long history, 40+ year history of being able to provide support to fire departments by way of training, diversity, funding, all kinds of things like that. Lots and lots of advocacy that goes back a very long time.
Right.
So it's understandable that you may not have heard of Cal-JAC, you may not know exactly who we are, but just know that we are solely vested in your interest in the fire service and your success in becoming a firefighter. And FCTC is also a subsidiary of Cal-JAC, and so there's an affiliation there as well, very, very strong affiliation there too. And so speaking of FCTC, these are some of the things, there's another common question that we get. What are some of the things that FCTC provides during the Academy? FCTC is providing the CPAT to you, so you'll have a chance to take the actual candidate physical ability test. You'll have the opportunity to do orientations to prepare for the written test. So let me run that back really, really quickly. So you'll have the opportunity to do the CPAT. You'll also have the opportunity to do the orientation and the practice, and so these help prepare you for the CPAT. You'll have the opportunity to do the written test, and you'll have the opportunity for written test support. And so this is the written test prep class. You'll have opportunity to take that. There's an online version as well as an in-person version. Again, always speaking to those different learning styles. And then FCTC will place all graduates of the Academy on the statewide eligibility list where departments are going when they're ready to hire. Okay?
Another thing, going back to the idea of or of the financial part of it, those who qualify for during the financial piece, right? You have to submit your finances. They can see whether or not you need it. One of the things that I wanted to clarify, the mileage part is 60 miles per class day is what they cover.
To and fro.
To and fro, yes. 60 miles per class day. And then childcare, class time, it's going to be the time of the class, so 6 to 10, and an hour on each side for pickup and drop off of your child. And then when you do your clinical time, the 12-hour time, it'll be childcare will be provided for those 12 hours. And then also for your when you do ride-alongs for 24 hours, childcare will be provided for that too. I don't. That is just seriously, like, I can't. That is such an incredible investment. Like, I mean, for someone to care that much about a career that's going to change my life, to me, that's amazing. And I want to. Part of the way that people understand what Cal-JAC does is that those of you that are watching, if you can also share out this opportunity on your social media, if you can share the class information, if you can share this stuff, it helps to normalize Cal-JAC's name in California, to your friend group, to your people group. Even if you don't need the opportunity or want it, maybe you don't want the opportunity. Somebody you know might, and you don't know. So take this opportunity, share this video, just share the information, because you never know who you'll be able to affect. And I also wanted to just real quick touch on the apprenticeship part of this. People don't realize like when you join the San Diego Fire Department, it's an apprenticeship. So your pre-apprenticeship lets us know that you've done some pre-work to understand what this apprenticeship is about. When you join the academy, that's a part of the apprenticeship. When you get done with the academy, you have a 1-year probation that is a part of your apprenticeship. So if most people understand apprenticeships in terms of being an apprentice and then being a journeyman or journey person, right? That's how most people understand apprenticeships. But for us, it's just different language, same concept. You're a fire candidate first, an apprenticeship candidate, then you're a fire recruit, then you're a probationary firefighter, then you're a firefighter 1, then you're a firefighter 2, and then eventually you become a firefighter 3. But during your process, we do continuing education. Our relationship with Cal-JAC is ongoing throughout our career. I do trainings every single month, sometimes once a week or twice a week, that have something to do with my apprenticeship that Cal-JAC oversees. And so Cal-JAC is more than reputable. They're actually all over the state of California, and they're an incredibly huge organization. So share the information that you're getting today. Share the EMT opportunity. Share, because there's somebody out there that, even if it's not you, that may want it.
For sure. It's really important that you share on your social media pages, and thank you for that. Also, someone's asking in the chat, is Cal-JAC a more commendable program to be hired for the fire department? Meaning, does this give us a better chance to do the Cal-JAC EMT Academy rather than another program? And so, to be honest with you, and you'll hear Jason say this, you'll hear other firefighters say this, your EMT program is a skill. And so you really just want to, wherever you can get that skill, wherever you can get that exposure and experience, you just want to do that. So I wouldn't juxtapose or compare Cal-JAC with other programs. If we're going to do that, there's going to be a lot more resources that you'll just get as an individual in this program, but it's not to make other programs look bad. It's really, you just need the skill set. And so there's going to be people who won't make it into this academy, just realistically speaking, just based on space and maybe other things. And so we want them to be able to consider, go to a different EMT academy, because the most important thing is that you meet the qualifications for the fire department, which is an EMT certification. And so yes, Cal-JAC holds a very important name in the space and all of those things, and hopefully you are selected. But with that, the most important thing is really just for you to have your EMT certification so that you can then go on and show a fire department that you have your EMT cert and experience, and you can go on and continue with that.
Just a 30-second addition to that, everything you said, I agree 100%. Here's where I would see an advantage, right? Maybe an advantage. Is for this particular test, for this test at San Diego, or this application that San Diego just opened, we actually, or just closed, at our most recent opening, we used folks that were on the statewide eligibility list. This is the first time we've done that. So somebody who was on Cal-JAC statewide eligibility list, which included those folks from our inaugural EMT class that we had that was Cal-JAC sponsored, those folks that met the requirements were able to bypass having to take our test, and they're placed on the list of folks that are going to get interviewed. So there was an advantage there for the folks that were in our EMT class. But there's also an advantage for anybody who got their EMT somewhere else and met the requirements that Cal-JAC set for the statewide eligibility list that were on it as well, and that got a chance to bypass our test. So yes, there is an advantage for someone who's in our class in that sense because they were on the SEL, but you can also be placed on the SEL even if you haven't went through our class. So there's an advantage that everybody can get if you create a relationship with Cal-JAC and do the things that you need to do. Yes, you can have an advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, again, just wanting you to know, all of these resources are available to you. Sometimes it's just hard to put them all together, to find all of them and make them make sense and put them in order, and in order that makes sense. And so at Cal-JAC, what we do is we take all of these resources and all of these opportunities and kind of package them for you. And the way that we package them is the Cal-JAC Academy. And so this time it's happening in San Diego, so the San Diego EMT Academy. And so, just kind of wanting you to know that all that information is there. We do want to go ahead and talk about just briefly some of the other things that are listed here. Let's see. You said something that made me have a thought, and now I'm forgetting what it was.
You never forget.
I don't. I don't know what's happening.
What is today? How do you never forget?
So we're going to jump right into the FAQs. We only have just a few minutes left. Perfect. We want to make sure to explain these. We have a quick question. Will Cal-JAC cadets be doing their ride-along with
San Diego Fire Department
during their clinical?
Yes. The idea is to do some in the hospital and then some on the fire engine to get a better opportunity to kind of see what we do. So yes, there will be a portion of it. It may look different this round, but don't worry about that. Yes, you will most likely have an opportunity to ride on a fire engine during the clinical portion of your EMT class, yes.
All right, so be sure to, first and foremost, not an FAQ, but should be the highest FAQ. be responsive to Courtney when when communicating about your application. She's processing it. So always want to send a reminder for that. Again, you can find each of these that we're about to jump into, and we're going to breeze through these very quickly. You can find each of these on our website, caljacacademy.org. Who can apply? And so this is everyone. We want each of you to apply, whether, you know, even if you've taken an EMT class in the past and maybe you didn't do well, maybe you failed, or you know, you're just kind of looking to refresh your knowledge. You're outside of that window because there is a different process for people that that already have an EMT certification, you know, but looking for people that don't have their EMT already, haven't taken the class, that kind of thing, but don't eliminate yourself. And so just kind of wanting you to know you need to be 18 or older on or before July 21st, high school diploma or GED, minimally in terms of education, on or before July 21st. Valid driver's license, does not have to be from California, does have to be valid, and you need to be legally able to work in the U.S. A comprehensive, you know, list of the items required before you can officially apply. Let's see, or before you're officially accepted, we need those up-to-date vaccinations. Again, all of these are listed on the website: your flu shot, MMR, Tdap, varicella, Hep B, and then any other additional vaccines that may be required by the department or hospital, that kind of thing. You do have to attend a mandatory orientation. And so that is online. You do have to attend the academic assessment, that's mandatory. You do have to pass your background check. You have to submit clean results. Talked about that a little bit earlier. You know, drug screening. You do have to have medical clearance from your physician by way of a physical, or how you can get that from your physician. And then you will need a CPAT within the past 6 months. And if you don't have a CPAT within the past 6 months, that's okay. On the day of your interview, or at a date that Cal-JAC determines, you will have to do a physical ability review with Cal-JAC.
And thankfully, we have this new facility in Carlsbad that provides an
go.
excellent opportunity for those of us that are south of Sacramento, the opportunity to be able to do it. Really, it's important.
There we go. Let's jump into the next.
How much does the Cal-JAC EMT Academy cost? Well, thanks to the partnership between the California Firefighter Joint Apprenticeship Committee, or also known as Cal-JAC, and the Employee Development Department, also known as EDD, accepted candidates will be able to attend the Cal-JAC Academy free of charge. So thankful to the EDD and Cal-JAC for this opportunity. It is free of charge, no cost to you.
We have a question specifically for you.
What about those who want to come by and do a station visit? What station should you stop by, and what is proper etiquette when stopping by unannounced? Great question. Well, stations are funded by our taxpayers, so you have the ability and the opportunity to knock by. I always say go to the station closest to your home. I think it's important for you to go to a station where the people that work there are probably going to be providing services if your family ever finds themselves in need. And so I would say if you're looking to get on the fire department, I would say, well, let me just say this real quick. One time somebody came to the fire station, knocked on the door, I opened the door, and it was a young person that had their hat on backwards and was like, I'm interested in getting into the fire department. So I just said, well, hey, let me have you do me a favor. I'm going to walk away, close the door, and then I want you to fix your hat and look more presentable, and then knock on the door again, and we're going to start this over again. So I would say you don't have to come in a suit. You could, but you don't have to. But we want to, it's important. Any kind of opportunity that you're getting, if you want someone to invest in you, then you should look that particular way. So maybe try to comb your hair and, you know, whatever. Let me say this. Let me say this. You want to look like you want the opportunity. How about that? But don't be afraid to knock on the door and ask whatever questions you need to ask. I just want you to knock on any fire station closest to your house, and we'll answer your questions. When will the Cal-JAC Academy take place? The introductory portion is going to be online, and that is July 21st through July 31st. So July 21st through the 31st, 2025, Mondays and Wednesdays from 6 to 10. And then Saturdays from 8 to 12. So the introductory online portion is going to be July 21st through the 31st Mondays and Wednesdays from 6 to 10, and Saturdays from 8 to 12. And the in-person portion is going to be at the San Diego College of Continuing Education, also known as ECC, August 4th through January 23rd. That's the actual class. Mondays and Wednesdays from 6 to 10, and Saturdays from 8 to 5. The in-person classes at the San Diego College of Continuing Education, also known as ECC, August 4th through January 23rd, Mondays and Wednesdays from 6 to 10, Saturdays from 8 to 5. Where will the Cal-JAC Academy take place? Great question. The San Diego 2025 Cal-JAC EMT Academy will take place at the San Diego College of Continuing Education at 4343 Ocean View Boulevard, San Diego, California, 92113.
How about the last day to apply?
Oh, great question, because it's only been said 15 times. This is good because we want you to hear this, and we want you to hear it well. The last day to apply, ladies and gentlemen, drum roll, please. The last day to apply, all Cal-JAC EMT Academy applications must be submitted by May 25th at 11:59 p.m. May 25th, 11:59 p.m. That means you can, hopefully you'll submit it sooner than later, but if you somehow, for whatever reason, you forget, you can go to sleep and wake up at 10 o'clock and realize on May 25th that I forgot and do it. So you do that. Late applications will not be accepted. I dropped water on my computer. I get it. I know. My car didn't start. I know. My job held me too late. We get it, but we can't accept your application. So May 25th at 11:59, period.
All right, so do I need to pay for the mandatory background and drug screens? No. The Cal-JAC Academy will cover the fees from the Department of Justice background check and drug screening. Just a reminder, no substances are allowed in your system, so just making sure that you have that. All right, so what is the Academy Physical Ability Review? And so we want to take a moment to kind of explain this one. Again, all of this information is on the website. Very important to know, it's not a fitness test or anything like that. And so candidates without a valid CPAC card within the last 6 months will complete an Academy Physical Ability Review. This is not a timed evaluation, nor is it measuring fitness. This is a review. This is to review a candidate's capabilities and movement for Academy physical training. Candidates will be reviewed on their ability to climb stairs, jog, jump, squat, and have full range of movement in their upper and lower body. Additional CPAT equipment may be used, including but not limited to the breach and pull, ladder raise, etc. So we want you to note that Cal-JAC's goal for all individuals accepted into the Academy is to be successful in the Academy and beyond. So the Academy Physical Review is not intended to exclude individuals from the process, and it's not measuring your fitness. The review is meant to ensure that candidates are able to complete the physical training aspect of the program. And so this is a requirement required by all that are accepted into the program.
How can I prepare for the Academy Physical Ability Review? That's a good one. The best way to prepare for the Academy Physical Review is by ensuring that you have adequate sleep, proper hydration and food intake. You can start a routine now. Start now. Stretching at least once a day for 5 to 10 minutes to ensure that your body's movements stay consistent. It's important. The things you're going to be doing aren't typical, something that you may do every day. I don't know if you climb stairs every day or you jog every day, but certainly you want to start that stretching. A gym membership is not necessary or needed for the review. You can actually walk or run at your own pace in your local neighborhoods and parks to be able to prepare. Start to prepare by using your own body weight for physical training. This looks like push-ups. You could do sit-ups, burpees, squats, lunges, things like that. And as your agility improves, you can start adding extra weight into your movements as needed. So start where you are right now. and work up to it. Again, the opportunity is not going to be given to you, but it's an opportunity that will certainly be afforded to you. So you want to make sure you do that. What qualifies
So
it?
I'll take the next few
yes.
just as they relate
Perfect.
to finances,
Perfect.
but what qualifies as financial need? So proof of financial status is not required. We want you to know that all are eligible to apply to the program. Priority is given to people who can demonstrate financial need, and so this section is really going to talk more about that specifically. So proof of financial status is not required. However, individuals who identify as low income and submit proof will be given priority to be accepted into the Cal-JAC Academy. Candidates must meet one of the financial requirements listed below, and again, this is on the website, in order to receive the priority points. And so you have a couple different options. You literally have a couple. There's two. So option one, you can submit any types of aid that you receive. A couple examples on the website are going to be CalWorks, CalFresh, AFDC, maybe TANF, SSI, excuse me, unemployment insurance, that kind of thing. And so we want you to know that if you do receive assistance, you are required to submit proof of those benefits with your application. So again, when talking about a completed application and what that looks like, if you're going for the priority, the proof of financial need, you want to demonstrate that by way of submitting proof that you received these benefits. The other thing is you have another option, option two. You can submit, information on your total family gross income. And so we want to make sure a couple notes on that you make sure to include yourself within that calculation. And so the website just breaks down, what it looks like for one people, two people, et cetera. So make sure to include yourself. And also, if you're using option two, make sure to include your 2024 tax return. All right, so you have that. Next question, if I do not have financial need, am I still eligible to apply for the Cal-JAC EMT Academy? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, apply. You are still eligible to apply. Proof of financial status is not required. However, if you do identify, if you can submit proof of low income, you will be given priority.
Don't self-eliminate.
Not a requirement. If my financial situation has changed since filing my 2024 tax return and I now meet the financial need criteria, will I qualify for the Cal-JAC EMT Academy? We know lots of situations are changing. That's a regular life thing that we encounter from applicants during the process. And so we want you to know that if there's been a change in your financial situation since filing your 2024 tax return, contact the Cal-JAC Academy and the phone number 916-648-1717 to discuss your options. All right. And so next question is, how was the financial need standard established? What determines this? What is this based on? We want you to know this, and again, you can find this on the website. The financial need standards were established utilizing the State of California Department of Housing and Community Development state income limits for 2024 for the San Diego County. So that's where the information comes from. And then we'll go into what are the requirements to graduate, not just to be accepted, but for the people that are already accepted, they're in the academy, what are the requirements to graduate from the Cal-JAC EMT Academy? You want to take that one?
Complete the EMT basic course, that's for sure. Second is pass the candidate physical ability test. You have to pass the written exam. And then graduates of the Cal-JAC EMT Academy receive a Firefighter 1 certificate? No, you will not. The graduates of the Cal-JAC Academy will receive their EMT basic course completion certificate, which will allow them to take the National Registry EMT exam and become a certified EMT. So the class gives you the certificate that gives you the opportunity to sit for the National Registry exam. That's what the class does.
In any
yes. Right. Yeah. You still have to pass the National Registry exam. There's no class that when you're done with it, you're done with you have to sit before the National Registry. And so in addition to becoming an EMT, cadets will take the Cal-JAC's Candidate Physical Ability Test and written exam. Graduates of the Cal-JAC Academy will also be placed on the Firefighter Candidate Testing Center's statewide eligibility list, which is used by departments throughout California who are looking to hire. There was a question real quick, would be eligible to apply for the 2026 applications. That's if you'll be able to, folks that complete our class, depending on the date that the applications close and you successfully completing the National Registry exam, you will qualify for the opportunity to apply for the San Diego Fire Department. But completion of this class, just completing the class and not sitting before the NREMT does not give you a pass to get on the San Diego Fire Department. That's a really good question. And then
next question is, if I already have my EMT certificate, am I still eligible to apply for the Cal-JAC EMT Academy? This is someone who you have your EMT cert, it's in hand, it's not expired, you don't need, the refresher, any of those things. No. The Cal-JAC Academy is designed to provide an opportunity to qualifying candidates to earn their EMT certificate, their EMT basic certification. If you're already an EMT, we want you to go over to FCTConline.org, and that way you can find out how to get on the statewide eligibility list, operated by FCTC. We want you to get in contact with fire departments. There's other options that are available to you, so this is not a program that you would need. But again, there's some more. If you have more questions on that and you have more specifics, we want you to contact the office, contact Courtney, and we can get you answers on that specifically. Also, if I already have my Cal-JAC CPAT or written test, am I eligible to apply for the Cal-JAC Academy? The answer is yes. Yeah, so if you already have your CPAT, great. You don't have to do the physical review that will be associated with some applications for people that don't have the CPAT. So yes, the Cal-JAC Academy is designed to provide an opportunity to qualifying candidates to earn their EMT certification. So yeah.
Yes. What is the Fire Candidates Testing Center statewide eligibility list, or SEL? Graduates of the program will earn a place on the Firefighter Candidate Testing Center statewide eligibility list, or SEL, which is utilized by many fire departments throughout California in their hiring process. So the eligibility list, like for us, if you are on the SEL and meet the requirements for the San Diego Fire Department, you will not have to take our test if you're in this particular process, if you submitted an application just now. So that's what this class does. It gives folks the opportunity to be put on that list, to be able to be considered by fire departments across the state of California. It's important to be able to do that. You increase your options by a lot. So if you already have an EMT, still contact FCTC online and find out other ways to put yourself in a better position to open up your options to be able to be selected on the fire department. I just wanted to comment real quick to Jeremy Hemsley, who said, "Captain, you and Chief are an inspiration. Allows me to imagine more for myself. How did you figure out this was the career for you? And is 28 too late to be starting this career path?" As a barber, I met someone who was on the fire department. We started talking. I realized what he did. I stopped by the fire station. This is a very quick version. Stopped by the fire station, got to meet some folks. I found out about an EMT class that they were doing that were just like this one, and I started the EMT class. I passed. And by the time I started the academy, I was 29 years old. I turned 30 in the fire academy. No, 28's not too late. 28's a prime age. 28 is good. And so no, 28's not too late. We don't have an age requirement. You just have to be 18 to apply. But we've had people, just somebody in this last academy turn 20. So for those of you who are really, who are younger than 28, yes, you have an opportunity. To those who are over 20, yes, you do. We've had people that were 40 years old and older that have joined the academy. So 28 is not too late. Don't self-eliminate.
And that's the #1 question that we get over at Cal-JAC is, am I too old? Who is Cal-JAC and am I too old, as it relates specifically to the academy? So we want you to know who we are. We hope that you have a better understanding of who Cal-JAC is, and our investment in your success, and you being informed about the fire service, wanting to pursue this opportunity, and being able to move forward. So a couple different things. We want you to go ahead, before I conclude, I do want to make sure that you can shout out your social handles again. And also, I just want to thank you for being here. I feel like you really enhanced this. This has been a very different experience. And so I just want to thank you so much for being here and for talking to everyone and answering questions.
Well, thank you for...
You are fire.
Hey! Well, thank you for allowing me to be here. I'm grateful. I just want to say in closing, thank you to Cal-JAC. Thank you for everything that you do behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, to make stuff like this happen. Thank you for the myriad of ways that you all enhance the opportunities for people to get into this career. I'm super grateful for the help that you provide to us as a department and to departments across California. And I love the fact that you all have civilians that are not in the fire service that are a part of these discussions, because what that does for people like me who I don't know what my blind spots are. And so people who don't see what I see are able to tell me that. So because you're not in the fire service, you help to remind me, and I mean you as a civilian, you help to remind me of the ways that we can remind people who don't know. And so I want to say thank you to everyone at Cal-JAC that is a civilian, that is not putting the uniform on every day, because you help us to remember that there are things that we take for granted because we do this every day. So your work is important in a myriad of ways. And then I just really want to close by saying to those of you that have watched this, or maybe are going to watch this, or maybe not, this career could be for you. It may not be for you, but it's important for you to get the information. Find out what is needed to become a firefighter and do what you need to do for this opportunity. It's so worth it. I am so grateful that I get a chance to do this as a career. And I have been overpaid. If I don't get anything else from the experiences, I can always accept more pay raises. I'm talking about overpaid from gratitude, and the ability to serve has been so good. So thank you to Cal-JAC. Thank you to everyone that's a part of all of this stuff for all that you do to make it so that people can come into this amazing career that I love. So salute to Cal-JAC.
We receive all of that. I received that on behalf of myself and the organization, and thank you. So with that, we did a quick exercise yesterday, fire ops, a whole, layout. It was a tremendous experience, and I will say I have a very different level of respect for the job, and so I already hold it in the highest esteem, but to be able to experience some of the things that they did in these really controlled environments, these controlled exercises, excellent opportunities. So as you see opportunities to participate in things like the Cal-JAC Firefighter Career Expo coming up April 5th, we want you to, join that. That's happening April 5th this year, so depending on when you watch this, that may have already passed. But if you're in the Northern California area, it's happening in Sacramento, we definitely want you to check it out. As you see various camps that departments are hosting near you, take advantage of those too. Join, attend, go to the open houses, do the ride-along, do the station visit. Definitely pop by any of the stations in San Diego. You were already given the invite and informed on how to show up. So make sure you take advantage of that. Continue to follow us on the platforms that you already do. Also know that you can find us at Becoming AFF on Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, and YouTube. YouTube Becoming a Firefighter. And so with that, and on Instagram, check out the link tree. Delve deeply into that, and find the Cal-JAC Academy. Find the other programs that we have to offer too. Watch each of the playlists that we have to offer. There's so much content that we put out specifically for you, and so just wanting to make sure that you're aware that here behind the scenes, the leadership team at Cal-JAC is very, very vested in your success. 100%. Always trying to find ways to make room for more, to be able to provide more, to be able to provide more programs. And so we don't know specifically, for 2020 or as far as the future, there are some future programs that are coming, and as soon as we have specific details on those, we'll make sure to release them. But for those of you maybe looking for a program coming closer to you, maybe you're not in the San Diego area, keep an eye out on each of the platforms that we have, and we look forward to either coming back or to bringing a program to your area. And as far as San Diego is concerned, get your application in. Applications are open. And thank you so much for being here. Peace out, everyone.